Welcome to our Nord of the Lord video tutorial series. We have the Nord Stage 3 here. It is a fully weighted 88 key keyboard, so it covers the whole range that a piano would have. And we have three engines on this thing, which we've talked about. There's an organ engine, a piano engine, and a synth engine. You can combine those three in any way that you want on panel A, and then on panel B, you can do it all over again. And you have three more engines to play with. We'll just start with panel A, and this is our, I think part 3 of our video tutorial series. You'll want to watch parts 1 and 2 first, because each one builds on the next. And today we're going to look at the piano. So, and I showed you in part 1 video how to create your own test program. Just find an unnamed or an empty slot and hit shift and store as, and then you can use the dial to name it. I've named mine test and my initials PW. So I'm here, and so I can experiment all I want, and I won't affect any other programs. So the piano engine, we turn it on. Remember, it's the second of 3 engines. We turn it on right here. And by default, it opens up with full volume and in all 4 zones. Okay, so it's the full range of the keyboard, because we don't have any splits right now. And it starts you off with the Grand Imperial on the grand piano category. Look at all these categories: grand pianos, upright, electric, that's clav, is short for clavinet, digital pianos, and miscellaneous pianos. There's a nice variety of grand pianos for you, the Royal Grand 3D. I'm going to take off all the effects for now, so I can add that a little bit later and show you how that works. Okay, it's just a nice balanced grand piano. So that very first one is a great option, but be sure to check out everything it has to offer. I actually like the Grand Imperial a lot, and I often put it on the bright setting. I just think it a little bit brighter and cuts through the mix a little bit better. And err on the side of bright. I know our sound system, our sound engineers usually says that for the keyboard to cut through the mix a little bit better, we want to err on the side of keeping the timbre pretty bright. Well, let's see what else we got. So this list knob right here, you can scroll through all the different grand pianos. Velvet Grand is very, very warm. And Silver Grand Studio, the Bright Grand I use quite a bit. It's a nice way to cut through the mix. Okay, and then hit the type. We got upright. It sounds very authentic, like if you're sitting at an upright piano. It really kind of sounds like it. And they even they make it sound kind of like when you depress the pedal, there's a little bit of that kind of pedal noise, like you would hear if you were sitting at an upright piano. Just love it. Oftentimes, I will start a song with an upright piano if it's kind of soft at the beginning, and if it features the piano at the beginning. My favorite one, there's a bamboo upright. I like the black upright, probably the best. For King of Kings, kind of the first time you do that riff, use an upright piano and then shift to a bright. When the song gets more energetic, then you can switch to a brighter, like grand piano. In fact, the way that we do that is we'd use panel A and panel B. So on panel A, let's say you start a song, and let's keep it kind of soft. Let's put it on mid. And then when the song grows in dynamics and crescendos on panel B, you could, let's take off the organ. Let's turn on the piano engine on panel B, and let's grab a grand piano. How about Grand Imperial and Bright? And oh, just so nice. So later in the song, so you start the song, and then later on, oh, you see how, and then I think the song gets soft again, so you can go back to panel A. Just wonderful. Wonderful how it's got that panel A and panel B setup. Okay, so you've got some upright pianos to choose from. Honky tonk. Electric. Oops. Electric. All right. Man, these are kind of like Rhodes electric pianos. That one's pretty good. I think my favorite, use the list knob, remember to surf the different ones. Oh, that one's pretty good. You really can't go wrong with the electric piano. That's where it really shines. I like the Wurlitzer. Oh, because you can play it all mellow. Oh, it's just got the best touch. If you dig into it, it's called the Wurlitzer because it works well with the rotary speaker effect. So it's on organ, but we can double click it and apply the rotary speaker effect to the piano. Oh, look how it's on fast. So that means that the Leslie speaker is really rotating quickly. Maybe start with it on the stop mode. Oh, we got some drive on there. Oh, tasty. And then go to fast. Oh, just see how you've got so much depth to the tone. So that works great for the electric piano, the Wurlitzer. I don't use the clavinet that much. Let's see, let's turn off the rotary speaker. Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles, they'd use clavinets in some of their songs. I mean, it sounds really good. I don't hear it in a lot of the modern worship songs that we do, but then you have some digital. This sounds kind of like 1980s, 1980s pop. I don't know much, but I know I love you. Okay. Let's see what different ones we have. Digital. That one's pretty good. There are only a few of those. And then miscellaneous. Another like 1980s. Like Phil Collins or something. And there are a few of those. Okay, so my favorites are the grand pianos, the upright, and the electric pianos. And those three, you can get so much out of it. Now, a few things about effects. So, reverb is always nice. You can turn it on here, and it applies it actually to all three engines. And stage 1 is kind of a go-to. Maybe at about 12 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock. Let's see. Here's no reverb. Here's a bunch. That sounds like you're playing in a cavern. With pianos, sometimes concert hall is nice. It's like you're playing a Steinway in a big concert hall. Yeah, that's got a lot of depth to it. Okay, so the reverb is a really good thing to add. I almost always have reverb on my pianos. So play with that. And by the way, periodically, if you like the work that you've done on your test program, save it. So I like what I've done, so hit that once, hit it again. Okay. Now I'm actually going to take off the reverb now because I want to show you a different effect that we use in virtually every piano. On every song gets a little different, a different tempo, of course. And that is the delay effect. The delay is over here. Now you can add delay simply by turning it on. It starts with piano, and it automatically has a certain tempo. And then you want to manipulate the feedback and the dry wet, and just do it until your ear, like that's way too much, right? So just kind of keep backing it off until, and using the sustain pedal. Still maybe a little bit much. That's pretty nice. Okay, so delay is a nice thing to add, but it's good to match it up with the tempo. Now you can tap in the tempo, but I just find it much easier since we play with multi-tracks, we play with a click track, just to assign the master clock with whatever tempo the song is. So find out the tempo of the song, and then hold down the shift button, go to the master clock, and using the program dial, you can put it to any BPM you want. So, let's say it's 80. I don't know. Release the shift. Oh, hit shift again or exit. And now the master clock, everything else is a slave to the master clock, and it's at 80 beats per minute. So now what you can do is you can tie the delay effect to the master clock. I see it's already lit up, so I must have done this already in a prior video, but to tie it to the master clock, hold down the shift button and rotate this knob a little bit while holding the shift button until that lights up. When that lights up, now it tells you that this effect is going to do it any number of subdivisions, but all at 80 beats per minute. And so now if you change the tempo knob, it won't change the actual tempo, but just the type of subdivision according to the master clock of 80 beats per minute. And if you change it now, you'll see on here the different types of subdivision. So a quarter note, you hear that? Or if you increase it, eighth note. See how now it echoes as an eighth note? And so on and so forth. That sounds pretty good, right? Maybe it's a bit much, so I'll just back it off a little. Oh, it sounds very nice. And then in combination with reverb, it's such a winning combination, having your delay and having your reverb. I like that a lot, so I'm gonna save that to my test program. Hit that once, hit that twice. What else would be good to show you? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that will be good. So, octave shift. That would be important to know. So sometimes, especially if you're dealing with the split keyboard situation, let me just do that. I'll turn on the split. split is here. And let's say you're just playing the piano in the right side of the split and you're doing something totally different with your left hand. To put the piano on the right side, you'll hold down the shift button. Right now it's on the left side. So while holding on the shift button, hit the zone button. Now it's in the upper half. So below, there's nothing going on below, but starting with this split point. So let's say you're rocking out with Wurlitzer electric piano on the left hand. On the right hand, you want to do some piano stuff, but it's actually too high of an octave. You can do the octave shift and bring it down. So now, even though I'm on C5, it sounds like C4. I think you can shift it up or down twice, if I remember correctly. Let's see if I can do it again. Octave shift even tells you they're a -2. So even though I'm playing up here, it's still a relatively low pitch. And then I'll bring that back. Or sometimes you want to shift it up. Okay, you can go that high with it. All right, awesome. Well, I am looking forward to doing our next engine, the synth engine, so stay tuned.